You have all heard of Nikola Tesla, the genius, the maverick, the most ignored, brilliant mind this world has ever seen. We all know that his patents and his discoveries were stolen by others, and that the entire infrastructure of the world is now run on the discoveries that Tesla had conducted. But there was a secret that drove Nikola Tesla mad. Tesla recognized that one of the fundamental tenets of the architecture of our reality operates on the numbers 3, 6, and 9. We've seen this in many YouTube videos, but we have not seen as a demonstration. We have not seen anyone come forth and explain exactly why the nature of reality is based upon these principles. This is the Archaics Paradox. We're going to show you something new that you have never seen before. Something that, had Tesla understood simulation theory and what it entails, he would have figured this out sooner or later, but he didn't. I'm going to show you something new. There are a growing number of mathematicians and theoretical physicists who believe that, like matter has a counterpart in antimatter, that arithmetic also has a counterpart in a sort of mysterious, enigmatic anti-arithmetic. That order and chaos may be just different phases of the same thing. That the arithmetic is actually something else on the other side. That reality isn't actually real at all, and that numbers are merely the way we perceive reality, the ability of the senses to measure what we think is, and then thus it becomes. I don't want to get into the quantum aspects of non-locality and all these things I'm really intellectually incapable of divulging, that I only comprehend in pieces. But when it comes to simulation theory and number theory, we have a problem, and it's a problem they're going to address in this video, because we're about to see something that no explanation other than simulation theory could possibly answer for the paradox that we're about to review. Enjoy this video. Most of it is going to be visual, but it needs to be so you can read it as well as see it. Every single thing in our perceivable reality is governed by numbers. A few years ago, a buddy of mine named James Knorr and I sat down with a computer and we ran the numbers 1 through 50,000 through a program of our own design. Each number was subtracted from its own mathematical reflection. Instantly, 4 fascinating discoveries were made. The first discovery: every number when measured this way collapses to 0 or reduces to a sum divisible by 9 before it also collapses to 0. This is every number in existence. The second discovery: only one number did not obey this holographic reflection operation. This unique, eternal, immortal number is the number 2178. The third discovery: a pattern exhibiting a sharp increase in collapses to 0 was found. This demonstrates that our reality construct is diminishing toward a total collapse. The fourth discovery: the number 2178, when it is subtracted from its holographic reflection of 8712 and runs through the loop to 6534, and then 6534 to 4356, which returns right back to 2178. This fourth discovery shows that this number is an eternal loop and it contains absolutely no nines. To discover the property of a number, we subtract it from its holographic reflection. What we have done in this example is like 3526 would be subtracted from 6253. Its exact opposite, which becomes 2727. You would follow this protocol. 2727 would now be subtracted from 7272, which equals 4545. You would continue this until you get to 909, which collapses to 0. Every single number in existence collapses to 0 or a sum divisible by 9 before it itself collapses to 0. Every number except the number 2178. It becomes an eternal loop. 2178 minus 8712 equals 6534. 6534 minus 4356 is exact opposite, is back again 2178. It is the only number that does this, an eternal loop, but not a single number is 9. Here's a demonstration of the eternal loop. It's like a yin and yang mathematically. It's the only number in existence that does this. This is the Archaics paradox. So we find a chain of incidents seemingly random are actually moored to the same arithmetic. We perceive these events as random from our perspective, but our arithmetic is moored to something beyond our awareness. Order is preserved in another dimension while chaos is perceived in our own. 2178 is a real phenomenon. All other numbers collapse to 0. I will not sit here and impose my own interpretation of reality upon my listener. You can decide for yourself how this information affects you. What you will do with this information completely depends on what you experience in your life. You create your own knowledge filters, and out of those knowledge filters, you live through the own reality tunnels that you exist within. This information tells me that I'm living in a simulation, that my 5 senses are moored to the arithmetic of our existence, but our arithmetic is moored to something else. When we try to look on the other side, every single thing in our perceived existence collapses to 0. Sometimes they collapse to 9, to 6, to 3. All of the numbers that we found in our operation, James Knorr and I, we found that they collapsed into all the numbers that are divisible by 3, 6, and 9. And that they in turn collapsed to 0 after a series of calculations. Some did not collapse immediately, but the collapses began to happen faster and faster and faster the closer we got to 1, which tells me that the reality tunnels that we exist in and the arithmetic that governs our very existence, the phi and the pi and the curvature equations, they have a terminus. There is an end period to this holographic construct, which is completely based in numbers. But it is moored to something else. The number 2178, which becomes 8712, which then loops right back to 2178, is the only thing that's real in our existence, and it is moored to something that we can't get to. Every bit of the information that we did in this program shows that we exist within a hologram of 11 dimensions. Our experiment clearly showed how the mathematics devolves into 11 dimensions, and that if a 12th dimension exists, if it is true that the structure of this hologram is a pentagonal dodecahedron, which I have theorized before, then 2178 is the one thing that's real that connects our world to something else. This is my interpretation. This is why I believe that we are in a simulation. My interpretations of reality, of the world I live in, belong to me. They don't need to be imposed on anyone else. What I believe will not alter your reality tunnel. What you assume to be true will govern the dictates of your life. Lisa Randall is a theoretical physicist who has also conjectured that we live within 11 dimensions. She would probably value this research. I've never really taken the time to try to contact her. My interest in the experiment that we did is also, I'm vaguely familiar with the time wave thesis, It involves simulation collapses as well, but not as detailed as I have gone into. However, I am acutely interested in the fact that this computer program revealed that we're heading toward a quickening, as if time itself suffers entropy. And that entropy happens as reality tunnels begin to collapse. I have already documented that May 2040, November 2046, the year 2070, the year 2106, which is 1 year after the year Nostradamus predicted. In my own research, I have already predicted that huge, major, worldwide reality tunnels will collapse. Reality tunnels are paradigms that the collective has assumed to be true. Not everybody has to believe it, but most do and have for a very long time. And when the collective, when the majority of humanity begin to believe something, that belief becomes an energy that alters the arithmetic of our universe. And our universe responds by creating or negating whatever it is or it is believed. Many times the human race has suffered exactly what they thought was about to happen. This has happened over and over. But this is the archaic paradox, that there is a single number in existence, 2178, that is eternal. Although our arithmetic seems to be just an aspect of quantum camouflage, meaning it seems that our arithmetic is quantum. It is both non-local and local at the same time. However, it's because we're trapped within a medium of 5 senses. Those 5 senses have us believing that we see everything. Although 95% of the electromagnetic spectrum is invisible to us, we still think we see. Our olfactory senses are absolutely terrible. Dogs smell far better than we do. Our auditory range is pathetic. There are frequencies so far beyond the human capability that we hear very little of what's really out there. Now, these things are designed to safeguard us from sensory overload. However, if we do, our bodies edit more information away from us than we actually absorb. Arithmetic is the same way. There's a whole lot more there that's not there than actually exists. The number 2178, to be so unique, to be real, to eternally loop onto itself while every single number in existence collapses to zero, tells me that I'm living within an artificial reality that is connected to a real reality that projects this simulation for me to live in. That's how I interpret the archaic paradox. And I am open-minded enough to allow for someone else to provide me their interpretations, and I'll change my mind if I hear something better. This is Archaics. This is what we do. We go deep. Hit that subscribe button. Please don't tell on me. Don't tell me I'm divulging secrets, because they're going to do to me what they did to Tesla. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down there in the comments section and share this video.